Ellen Page, star of The Cured. If you have any questions for Ellen, please leave them in the comment section, and we'll get to those in a bit. Ellen, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This movie, The Cured, it's great. It's a zombie movie, but to just say it's a zombie movie maybe does it a disservice because it's very different.
Well, yeah, I mean, firstly, I love the genre, so, and love being a part of a zombie movie. But yes, this film is essentially the zombie movie after the zombie movie you're used to seeing. And I think it just takes a really, new, fresh take on the genre, and yeah.
For people who maybe, you play a young widower with a child who gets visited by someone who is cured, your brother-in-law, and it all takes place in Ireland. Ireland's a beautiful country. What was it like filming there?
Oh, it was the best. I've always wanted to go, and so the fact that this was shooting in Dublin was just such a lovely bonus and highlight. And I just had the loveliest time, and did, on a couple weekends, get to some, places outside, and yeah, it was really special.
You were filming this in the fall of 2016?
Yes.
So obviously that was an interesting time back in the U.S.
It was.
What was it like filming because it happened around the presidential election, right?
It happened, yeah, in our last week of pre-production, Trump got elected. So I was alone in Dublin, up all night, just horrified. And then, yeah, it was a grim time in that sense, yeah.
You play an American in this movie, but were at any point were you considering playing an Irish character?
No, when the script came, the character was already American, and I don't think I'm naturally good at accents, quite frankly.
You never tried trotting out an Irish accent?
No. No. Yeah, I have some friends who are just, so good at it, just naturally pick it up. And
do you have any other accents, or is it kind of Canadian-American?
That's about I can say sorry instead of sorry. That's as
hey,
far as I can go. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
In other movies, you've played someone who's kind of circled around motherhood in Juno and Tallulah. But is this your first movie as a more kind of traditional mom?
Pretty much, yeah.
What was that like to be offered a role that's a mom your first time?
It was exciting. It was there was lots of factors with this movie where it felt like something new, and it felt challenging in a good way, in the ways that being challenged in terms of creatively. And it was a big part of establishing this character. She's just had to flee Dublin with her son as the situation with the infected people was being dealt with, and lost her husband, and has gone through an incredibly traumatic experience. But now she's back in Dublin trying to create a sense of normalcy and routine for her young boy. And, and I think then she's dealing with having to repress a lot of what she's gone through. So I think it added this nice complexity to that character and the strength of that character.
You're in a film with actors that are maybe less known over here. And meanwhile, I think it would be fair to say that you've had a career that maybe has, a little bit more eyes on it. Did you find yourself kind of being a leader on set at all, as someone who's kind of, been through award circuits and just acted a ton?
No. And I think David, the director, David Frayne, who wrote the script, was just he really blew my mind, because it was his first feature, very low budget, not many days, and so many components to this film, Sometimes it felt like shooting a small Irish family drama, and other times, of course, it felt like a big movie with, soldiers and so much background. Awesome background performers who played the infected people, really fantastic and so committed and awesome. So he was really the leader, and I felt lucky to be a part of his first feature. And Sam Keeley is such a fantastic actor. I mean, so is Tom, of course. Most of my works with Sam, and I just loved working with him. I can't wait to see all his work in the future.
What was it? First time on a feature-length film. What was there anything that kind of surprised you about his directing style that maybe you weren't expecting from someone who's starting?
I don't know. I mean, he's so lovely, and he's so smart and generous and assured in his vision. So that all, none of that surprised me. I think just his ability to handle those big days and to stay so calm and sort of keep the loveliest energy with the crew, which was also just a fantastic crew. And I think it was his ability to handle the inevitable stresses and whatnots of shooting a small, a low-budget movie, and then with the degree of the things that needed to be accomplished. Yeah.
Talking about accomplishing things, it's only a few months into the Time's Up movement since it was kind of announced. And I know when you're talking about a systemic problem to ask, is it fixed yet, would be silly. But just kind of curious, like, how do you feel about the state of things right now with Time's Up, like a general temperature for what's happened the last few months?
In terms of?
Like, just, do you see signs of progress, or do you see just how you feel the response to it has been, I suppose?
Yeah, well, I guess, the thing that I think is the most powerful and impactful is just how many people have shared their stories, many who were silenced for years and years and years and felt like they couldn't. So I'm inspired by all the individuals who've, worked for years and years and decades to even, create a foundation to allow us to get to this point. And all the people who are, confronting their fear of being vocal about this and the vulnerability that brings and the difficulties is really powerful and moving and inspiring. And I think inevitably this movement will create change, but this has been going on for a long time. So we'll see how sort of quickly we can help make these sort of massive changes in every industry and every aspect of our society.
Moving on to maybe some happier news, you recently got married.
I did.
How's married life treating you?
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it. I was just saying that. I just was like, I love being married.
What about it specifically?
I don't know. It's just so nice to feel like, I'm married. And I love my wife so much, and she inspires me so much. And every day I'm just so excited to wake up and hang out with her and spend another day with her. She's just so special.
Have you gone on a honeymoon yet?
We did something, a little quick thing. Sorry. Private about that stuff.
Fair enough. The two of you have worked together a little bit, collaborating on some videos.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's like.
I'm the worst.
Tell me about that. What's it like working with your wife?
I mean, I feel really grateful because I'm such a fan of her work. I mean, she really is just a genius. And so getting to be a part of her videos and stuff is so exciting for me. And the fact that she would even believe in me that I could, dance. And then she's such an extraordinary teacher. So that's a really fun way to connect and spend time together, of course. And then in terms of me playing the guitar and singing, I think that's nice because I could never play the guitar in front of people. That was just my own private, little thing. And so to even feel comfortable enough to do that, and she encourages me, and it's really nice. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god.
She's a dancer and a choreographer, and I bring this up because earlier in your career, and when he was first starting out, you and Justin Bieber would be put side by side.
Oh yes.
As the two of you have gotten older, that comparison's made less and less. But she choreographed and appeared in one of his music videos.
Yeah.
So have you met Justin Bieber now?
No, I haven't met Justin Bieber yet. You'd think the Canadian thing too.
Yeah,
but
all Canadians know each other.
hopefully soon.
Yeah, my dad. My dad's Canadian.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, and you know him.
Where's he from?
Montreal.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What's your dad's name again?
Michael.
Oh, Michael from Montreal.
Yeah, of course. We're going to start taking some questions from fans right now.
Oh.
This one's from John.
Interesting. Uh-oh.
Would you rather become a zombie or vampire, and why?
I don't don't know. That's a good question. Like, what kind of zombie? You know, like what movie, what rules are we going by?
Yeah, you know, John, you should have been more specific. I'm going to answer for John. I'm going to say a zombie from your movie, The Cured. So, possibility of being rehabilitated.
Sure.
Or
This
a
is good
vampire
point.
like the Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt one, where they're like,
Oh,
they look,
right.
and Kirsten Dunst, where they all, like, they look good.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always how vampires are portrayed. Do you think vampires have a problem with that?
Um,
Do you think vampires are like,
why are you making us all look so beautiful?
why? Like, this isn't yeah, do you think they're ever... Oh, you know what was so good was that movie, what was it called? The Flight of the Conchords. Yeah, what's it called?
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the
yeah.
Shadows. Oh, that was so fun. Yeah.
So would you rather be one of those vampires?
Well,
or...
maybe because they're all just like hanging out and chilling and like
Yeah.
talking about chores together. It seems less intense.
Do you like talking about chores?
Sometimes I get into doing chores, yeah.
This one is from Jen. She asks, so what actually happened at the end of Inception? What's your theory?
Couldn't tell you.
No?
Could not tell you.
Because...
You mean when the little spin top? Yeah, I don't know.
But you know.
I really don't.
All right.
Okay.
This one is also from Jen. Jen has another question in here. How do you stay so private in Hollywood? I imagine that can be difficult considering so much, you know.
Not that many
No?
people care about me.
Huh, that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of Hollywood, I have a Hollywood question for you.
Oh, shit. A Hollywood question.
Yeah, I do. It involves movies.
Uh-oh.
They just announced a Kitty Pride movie is going to be coming.
Yeah.
Do you have any involvement with that? Do you know what's going on?
I have no idea what's going on. No.
But you like playing the character Kitty Pride when
Loved playing the character. Yeah, she's awesome.
she's kind of an underrated character in the X-Men universe.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people are excited that she's going to have her own movie.
Yeah. Me too. Haven't heard anything, but
Yeah? No, you haven't?
Yeah,
All right.
feel free to give me a call if you like.
Yeah? Oh, okay. There you go.